When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy. That just might work, ayy. That just might work.
Hi, welcome back to another episode of the Michel Matters Podcast. I'm Jocks Michel.
And I'm Jackie Michelle.
Welcome back.
Hey.
Well, the last 2 weeks, just to recap, have been pretty semi-eventful, I guess.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, for starters, my cousin came down for spring break.
Yeah, all the spring breakers are in South Florida right now.
She came down from New Jersey. She's in college. Her and her two friends. They needed a place to stay, and I was like, at first I was a little nervous, college kids on spring break. I wasn't sure, but she was actually pretty well behaved as far as what I could tell.
I mean, here,
yeah. I mean, I won't know for sure. I mean, I don't want to know either. So,
yeah.
But it was cool. They came down. I know they were at the beach pretty much every day.
Mm-hmm.
Typical spring
Jersey,
break. Yeah.
So.
And by the time I wake up, they're knocked out. And when I come home, they're
out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Out and about. So we didn't really get to see each other much, but
yeah. Well, we took them out to eat once.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that was cool. And
like
college kids, they were like so appreciative because we paid for like a $10 meal. It's like,
yeah.
I mean, that's nothing, man. But
they were like, "Don't pay that. It's too much money." I'm like,
yeah, chill out.
It's a pizza. Like,
but
okay.
Anyway.
But yeah. So yeah. What else? It's been pretty busy as far as like business stuff.
Yeah, you making moves this week?
Yeah, it's been pretty hectic. Building new connections and meeting new people that I really like and have followed their own business journeys and stuff. So it's been pretty cool working with them. And then as far as like career wise, I don't know if this affected your professional workspace at all, but the FIU bridge collapsed and you're in construction, so
that's just a whole crazy story just because everything is tied together in our industry or whatever. I work in construction, and the company that I work for, we were actually supposed to have crews working under the bridge that day. So that was a crazy turn of events, and then they actually rescheduled us, so we didn't end up working there. But I mean, it's sad. People lost their lives. I know.
Yeah, man.
I know people are questioning what happened, and I mean, all I know is as far as what I understand, I mean, everything is it's like a freak accident.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a lot of things in that whole watching the news and just people uncovering different layers of what could have gone wrong with. Different companies and
whenever you examine something in like with a fine tooth comb, you're gonna find stuff. But like I've worked with the company that was actually building the bridge before, and the guy who was actually running that project, like I have a pretty decent relationship with them. Like I don't think they do any like crazy shoddy work. Like I don't think anyone is 100% clean in the construction industry. I mean, they all look minor shortcuts but nothing like building wise. They'll maybe like hire people they probably shouldn't hire, like or they'll underpay people, but like nothing crazy.
Yeah, but this is like a legit major construction.
Yeah, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. Something I've never seen. And I know at least for down south, nothing to that magnitude.
Right.
We're talking 6 people died. It happened in the middle of the day.
Yeah. I mean, and we had we have friends and we know people who work at FIU and they just happened to not go to work that day or and they were driving under that bridge for days.
Yeah. I mean,
so
it's just a sad story. I definitely have my prayers out to those families and even to like the companies involved, because I can't imagine what they're going through too.
Right.
It's just a crazy series of events with that. And then I think the most recent thing, it's a weird segue, but our anniversary just passed.
Yeah.
Wow, you
Our
sounded
dating.
so enthusiastic.
No, I'm saying our dating anniversary. Like.
Yeah, I mean, this is the date that we started dating in high school.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, actually, the fact that I brought it up to Jackie, she was like, "What? Like, why are we celebrating that?"
Because we never celebrate that.
We don't, but I just, I always look for a reason to celebrate. I don't care.
Yeah. So I had got a Groupon not too long ago. We were like, oh, we could just use it for that.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to a hand clay making class, which was pretty cool.
Which is very interesting. I don't know if I'd call it cool.
I'm pretty good at it.
I mean,
like the second clay we got, I was like, okay, I could do this.
Yeah, it was a good.
You were
experience.
good the first time. You were.
I
she
know.
was like, big hands help you. And
yeah,
like,
she was like, she said I was good with my hands. That's exactly what she said. But I know I don't know her. But I mean, she just the teacher was interesting. I think that's the main point I took away from the class. It might be a fun class, but the teacher we had, I felt like she was kind of a jerk.
She just knows her craft, so she was kind of just like, "You guys aren't gonna get it on the first time, but it's fine." Like, just
because you know something doesn't mean you can teach it.
Yeah.
And she wasn't a very good teacher.
Yeah. Of
clay, and like she'll just like say something, or she'll like do like 3 things, and like it was one point where she showed us like 3 steps. At once. And she was like, all right, go ahead. And I'm like, bro.
And we were like, okay, so what do we do?
I already forgot the first step.
Right.
Like, I've never done this before. And she just wasn't very helpful. And then it was one girl who just kept messing up. And I feel like
which one? Because it was 2 girls that kept messing up.
The one that was closest to her.
It was all couples, I think.
Yeah, it was all couples.
Like 4 couples.
Yeah, but the girl that was closest to her, she...
oh, yes.
Yeah, she had a rough day.
Them as a unit, actually.
I mean, he wasn't that bad.
He wasn't bad, but until the end, like his second clay, the teacher was like, okay, all right, you guys are done.
And then he messed it up after.
I was like, dang.
But, I mean, it's... Now doing it, I have like a legitimate... not legitimate, but I have a better understanding of what goes behind doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I respect the people that do it. It couldn't be me. But
so what exactly did you make? Because I don't understand.
I don't know.
I made a bowl. I made 2 bowls.
I made 2 containers. I don't know what we're going to use them for, but I made 2 containers. I
can put like a plant in there or something.
All right, it's not that bad. Like you can use it for... One of them is definitely like...
It's going to be black. You painted it black. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that.
One of them is definitely going to be like, I don't know, nacho, like salsa bowl. I don't know.
We'll figure it out.
I think you're underestimating how it came out.
I think one of them came out really well.
Which one? My first one?
Yeah, and that could be like a plant.
But I think the second one came out decent too.
Okay.
You got lucky with your second one.
Yeah, the second one turned out way better than the first.
And I don't know if you did it on purpose. Did you do it on purpose?
No.
Because I made a certain shape, but I didn't do it on purpose, and I thought it was dope. Not dope, but like it was clean.
Yours is more like a cylinder.
Yeah.
And mine goes out like a bowl.
Yeah, because I was afraid to get too fancy. Because after I seen the other girls break, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I'm just gonna make this cylinder, and we could use it for whatever. Yeah. But regardless. It was an interesting date. Fun. I wouldn't do it again with that person. Yeah. I probably wouldn't do it again in general. They had other
cool teachers too, so I'm not sure.
I guess I probably wouldn't do it again.
We got stuck with her. But yeah, we got some feedback on some previous episodes. One is from George at 84 Studios. He said, great listening to you guys. Enjoy the content. Looking forward to the next one. And he commented and reviewed on the podcast app on Apple. Mm-hmm. So if you guys review us there and like rate us there, I think that would be cool too.
Yeah. Shout out to George.
Yes. And then what else? We heard back from Johnny.
Oh yeah.
And he does a lot of real estate stuff. Mm-hmm. He invests in real estate, and he recommended the Bigger Pockets podcast because last episode we talked about finances. I had heard about that podcast before, but I only listened to one episode, so I didn't want to recommend it. But after he sent us an episode, I was like, okay, let me just listen to
Yeah.
them. And
I didn't finish it,
good.
but I think I would listen. Is the situation, maybe that episode I didn't feel too...
Right.
But
all the other episodes are pretty good.
Yeah, so I think I'll start listening to that one.
Mm-hmm. There are other podcasts I listen to as well. One is called Journey to Launch. And the other one is Redefining Wealth Podcast. And it's more so like tying in finances with your day-to-day life. It's not all about finances. And just looking at finances in a different way than just like how to get rich.
Mm-hmm.
So those are some good podcasts. And we had a few questions about like Bitcoin and cryptocurrency.
What questions did you get?
Just like if we're investing in that.
Yeah.
We're not at the moment.
Yeah. I know someone who has.
Yeah. It's working out for him.
Yeah. But I guess I haven't done enough research and I just get nervous about fads with stuff like that because fads like things that come and go in investing or...
Yeah. But a lot of people are taking Bitcoin and stuff, like the gas station you just saw.
That was crazy. We drove by a gas station today, and it said, we sell Bitcoin. When the gas station starts selling Bitcoin, that's when I know I'm out. Like...
Why?
What viable investment deals are made at gas stations?
I don't know.
None. I know that. None.
Well, you know what? I watched a documentary, right? I think I told you about it.
You probably did.
I think it's called Life 2.0. Or Second Life or something like that.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
Second Life, yeah.
And this one lady, I mean, everybody kind of has... The whole concept is that it's almost like a second chance at the life that you don't have.
The documentary, not the game.
Like the people in the documentary.
Yeah.
They don't see it as a game.
It's a game.
It's like Sims, I feel like.
Yeah, it's a game.
But to them, that's like their life. And so this one lady on Second Life has like a whole business, like she makes houses and she has a boutique and all that stuff.
On the game.
On the game.
Yes.
On the
Down to real life. She has stores in the game.
Her real life job is this Second Life. Like, you have to watch the documentary to really understand what I'm saying. But she basically makes money on this Second Life. It's not an app.
It's a game.
It's like a website.
Yeah, it's a game where, I don't want to say it's a role-playing game. It's just a life simulation game.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, some people are like legit married on this Second Life.
Yeah. I only know about it because in college we had to create an account and we had like a weird class conference on Second Life. I deleted it right after. But yeah, it's a second world. Just like Jackie said, compared to Sims. If you've never played it, it's just you create like an account and you build and you like people have jobs on the game. I didn't know it went to that degree where people were like legit profiting out of it, but
she like quit her job in real life and everything and was making good money. I don't know if she's still on this website.
More power to her.
Off of her Second Life boutique.
So
the documentary is called Life 2.0. You guys should check it out on Netflix. But yeah, we don't invest in Bitcoin.
I can't lie. How are you tying that back to Bitcoin? Were you tying that back to Bitcoin?
Yeah, because that's how she makes money.
Oh,
on the Second Life, but with Bitcoin.
But that's the thing. Bitcoin has been living on the internet for a long time.
Yeah, but now it's like famous.
Yeah.
Because even when we watched the movie Dope, they were...
Yes, that's when I first heard
about
Bitcoin.
I don't remember what year that was.
Yeah, but if anybody has any like legit information or research or information, I'd look into it. I'd look into it. I didn't say I'd jump into it.
I'm down to learn more about stuff.
Yeah.
Even if I don't use it. But that's why I watch a bunch of documentaries.
About things we don't care about.
Yeah. So those were the comments and feedback that we got. You want to move on?
Yeah, I don't have anything else. All right, let's move on to the hot topic.
Yes.
So hot in here. So hot in.
So for this week's hot topic, something that came up and it's not the newest topic, but new to me.
It's been going on for years and years and years.
So this week I watched the OJ confession video. I mean, I don't have to explain who OJ is to anybody, but
the juice.
Juice.
Oh.
He, I guess after he got out of jail, he had a interview with the publisher of his book that was entitled "If I Did It." At the time, the interview didn't come out. OJ did another stint in jail, and he's back out, and I guess he's capitalizing on the momentum, and they put out the video. To me, it's just crazy. That happened in like 94, so you're talking almost 25 years later.
Yeah.
You killed, for the family, this is the death of one of my family members, and I have to hear the story from the man who was found not guilty of the murder, saying, if I did it, yada, 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 this is how it go. And to me, I think the craziest part was he kept reiterating his, hypothetically. This is
right.
Hypothetically, if it's hard for me to come up with this scenario because, how would I know?
But this book, this interview was based off of the book, right? Yes. Because the book came out around the same time as this interview, I'm guessing.
The interview never came out.
Right, but they did the interview around the same time. Mm-hmm. I'm just looking at the book cover now, and it looks like if you saw it on a shelf, it looks like just I did it. Mm-hmm. Oh. But there's a tiny little if in the I.
That's crazy.
Yeah. See, so he's just trying to cash a check, basically.
But this is, and you know what? Maybe he is, but that's why the whole time I kept watching it, this one word kept coming to my mind. It was sociopath, right? And I was like, at first I was like, I hope I'm using that right. So I looked it up, right? Sociopath, a person with a personality disorder manifesting itself in extreme antisocial attitudes and behavior and a lack of conscience. That's why, I don't think he fits the profile 100% because OJ is the opposite of antisocial, but he clearly lacks a conscience. No one who has a conscience can sit in front of a camera and repeat some of the things. And the way he repeated, I think one of the craziest things is he created this fictional character, Charlie. If you don't know...
Did he say it was fictional, though?
Yeah, it's all hypothetical.
Oh, you're right.
It's hypothetical. So, when he's recounting or recalling the story, he's like, he got the knife from Charlie. And he just went, he blacked out. That's what he said. He said he blacked out.
That's like his Sasha Fierce.
Who?
Oh,
my
Fierce.
Gosh. I know. I had to think about it. I haven't heard that in forever.
Yeah, she didn't call herself that.
So, yeah, Charlie is, I'm assuming his alter ego.
Right.
But it's just a crazy, just the fact that you were able to sit down and do this.
That's crazy.
And then now, 25 years later, for any network to put it out, to me, is insensitive. And it's just, what the kids call clout chasing. They're literally just doing it for views or clicks. And I think it's filthy, man.
But, okay, so they showed portions of that interview, but then they also had, a round table of some key people in the
So
story.
It was Chris Darden, for anybody, and I was alive when the trial happened, but
yeah, we were young.
I really learned more about it, through the years with the ESPN documentary and the FX documentary. Chris Darden is the prosecutor that tried the case. And so some people would say he's the one who blew it.
Yeah.
With the, try the glove on OJ. But yeah, Chris Darden was on there. Her, OJ's ex-wife's best friend was there.
For no reason.
Pretty much.
I get it. It's sad. But just don't come on TV and that's all you gonna do. You're not providing any substantial information.
I guess because I don't think she went there with all intents of I'm just gonna sit here and cry.
Right.
It was probably she probably had some emotion that she wanted to get out. some thoughts that she wanted to get out.
Yeah, seeing
but
that
watching
never
it,
been released.
because no one else has seen it besides the people who filmed it, that had to shake you up.
Yeah.
Like the way he spoke about his ex and just the whole situation, and like it's just you're watching someone who looks unfazed talking about killing one of your family members.
Yeah, he looked crazy.
Like it would drive me crazy just to hear it, and then someone stuck a camera now in your face and asked you how you felt about it. I'm pretty sure she wasn't ready for that.
Yeah. But I feel like don't you think he talks about it so, because he brings it up so much. I mean, obviously this is the main focus of your life now.
Yeah.
No one even talks about his career anymore, because
I would venture to say most you ask any child born after like the year 90, I doubt even my brother would know, 95, what OJ's known for.
Yeah.
Or they'll probably know what sport he played. They can't tell you how good he was. Mm-hmm. I barely know how good he was. I just kind of have an idea. And then like that he played in the NFL and he had like this illustrious career after the NFL.
Right.
Like people don't even care about that.
Yeah. So don't you feel like this is kind of all he has to talk about now? So this is the only thing that he could ride on for, a living. Because why are you still talking about this?
I wonder if OJ had anything to do with it, because I don't know. Who's to say? Because he didn't own the interview. The interview belongs to the network.
Right. But
so they could have put it out without his permission.
Yeah, but he went on the interview and I'm sure he got paid for it. Like, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, at the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Well, I don't know. It's kind of tricky. I mean, I guess it's getting into like the legal side, but like, I know after the trial, he had the civil suit. Mm-hmm. And he couldn't pay, I guess, the amount of damages. So, like, all the money from the book went to the family.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how much money.
The family? Whose family?
To,
her family.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I wasn't sure about, as far as, like, the interview, how that money gets shelled out. Mm-hmm. Because I know even to this day, they were saying when he got out of jail, his pension couldn't be touched by the family. His NFL pension. So
how long does that last? I mean,
it's a pension. I'm pretty sure it's continuous. Huh. So he has his NFL pension, but like they were saying, he was doing like shady things to get money. Not to get money, but he would sign autographs, and it would be under a business name, not his name, and he'd be getting paid with the business.
Right.
Just different things, but either way, as far as like being a money grab, I'm not sure. Maybe it was a money grab, but I'm just saying at the time, I don't understand how you could do it. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
And for such a cold news story, it's a hot topic because it just got released now. And I just feel like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, why do you think all this stuff is coming out now, though? Is it because that FX documentary or series came out last year?
Last year or 2 years ago, I'm not sure.
Mm-hmm. And it was around the time that he got out, right?
No, I mean, OJ recently got out.
Right, so that came out before he got, like, right before he got out.
All that stuff happened before he got out.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? That just...
I mean...
So that he sees himself in the limelight again? Like...
That's what I'm saying. I don't know if he had anything to do with it.
Yeah.
All those other things before, I mean, people want to know about that story.
Yeah.
I mean, it was such a pivotal, like, court case. It was a race case.
Yeah.
And that's what people want to talk about now. So it's hot, I guess, in that sense, but it's so wrong.
Yeah.
I can't thoroughly enjoy it. It's good entertainment, but I cannot thoroughly enjoy it. After the
series, I was done. I was like, okay, we know he did it.
No.
I mean,
yeah.
I know he did it.
I knew for sure after watching all those case stories and OJ did it.
Now it's just like, okay, can we move on?
Yeah, I thought Jay-Z put the nail in the coffin with the story of OJ.
That's what I'm saying. It was just like back to back, like you just keep hearing about OJ, and I don't understand why.
I don't think OJ's more relevant now than ever.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
But I mean, he's not behind it unless he has some management team that's like, hey, let's.
The brand is strong.
Right. But I don't know. It's crazy. It's sad.
It to me, that's what it is
crazy.
to me. It's sad, like, that he's getting this much publicity and this much notoriety for being charged not guilty of something I guess I would say 95% of America knows he's guilty for. And the other 5% know it, but I mean, they just won't concede.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just crazy that he's getting all this shine right now off of this, and the family has to go through everything that they have to go through watching this and seeing people keep, like, your sister will never die because people will always talk about OJ.
Yeah.
Or your daughter or whoever. Like, the story will never die. And I don't know how you can, like, really heal
Move
when
on.
people keep opening the wounds.
Yeah.
But
It's just
sad.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.
All right.
I
Anyway.
remember when he came to our school.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone was like on edge. Like,
Yeah.
what is he gonna do?
Usually because it was very rare, but we had, every once in a while, like, I remember
like a
Chad
volleyball
Johnson.
game or
Yeah,
something?
Chad Johnson came to the school one day. I, like, got his autograph. The
No,
day
I'm
OJ
talking
showed
about
up?
OJ.
Yeah, but the day, I didn't go for an autograph.
Nah, nobody went to talk to him. That I can remember.
His daughter was playing volleyball. She went to Gulliver.
Yeah.
And then they were at the school one day. So yeah, I
It's
know.
like no one sat next to him.
No.
Like nobody.
I mean, it's got to be a sad life because
Yeah.
everybody knows what you're capable of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I'm sure I think he's in Florida.
No,
He
most
lives somewhere
definitely. Yeah,
here.
he's definitely in Florida.
Florida man.
Florida man strikes again.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah, let us know what y'all think about OJ.
actually, don't let us know. I'm tired of talking about OJ.
Yeah, you're right.
I think this is the last time I should have to say OJ. So yeah, don't let us know what you think about this. Yeah, let's move on to the Michel Matter.
Cause I'm your sister and always for you. And don't know what I'd ever do without you from the beginning till the end. You've always been here right beside me, so I'll call you my best friend.
All right, guys. So for this portion of the podcast, we're actually gonna have our first guest.
Yes. Special guest.
This one I actually know personally. I've known her my whole life. I haven't liked her my whole life, but I've known her my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Today we're gonna have my sister.
My sister.
This is a topic I guess we can talk about too. But yeah, my sister.
My sister.
Anyway, Judi Michel.
Hey guys.
Hi, Judi.
Thank you for having me.
So if you know my sister, you know she has two voices. She has her regular voice, I guess you can call it regular,
Yeah.
and she has her customer service voice.
Right.
I know when she's nervous, she uses her customer service voice, and when she's at ease, she uses her regular voice. So let's see how quick we can get into her regular voice.
She has her mom voice too.
Yeah.
We'll
get into that one. So, we brought her on because we wanted to start talking about parenting.
Yeah. A lot of people have been asking about parenting and like when they should have kids and just all of that. How you balance life with kids.
Yeah.
And we don't have any. So we're going to go ahead and bring on guests to talk about that.
So.
And you're like the closest person to it.
Yeah, this is like the first, I don't know how to put it, like parent that I knew, like.
Besides your own.
Yeah. What the heck? So yeah, Judi has given birth to my wonderful niece, London. What was that like, your pregnancy?
Well, obviously everyone's experience is different. I think that's nothing new there in terms of that thought process. However, for me, I had a lot of morning sickness, but it was just throughout the day for the longest time. And the perk about that, I guess, was I weighed less during my pregnancy than I did after the fact because I threw up so much. I guess there's a silver lining. I mean, I really did. I had a very...
Like every morning?
Morning, afternoon, evening. There were certain foods that I actually stopped eating because throwing it up wasn't fun. Like I wouldn't eat rice because throwing up rice is not okay.
I guess.
This got real fast.
Yeah. I guess it's my fault because I asked the question.
Well, no. I mean, like noodles, like different things like that. But the good thing is, like, a lot of those foods are probably foods that are not the best for you to be eating so constantly anyway. So there were perks. I did eat more fruits. My body did tend to enjoy that.
You ate a lot more Panera.
I love Panera. Panera loved me. I had their broccoli cheddar soup consistently. And this was before they started the rewards program. I probably would have been pretty high up because I went there almost every day. Because their food actually stayed down. So
was there anything that you stopped eating completely after your pregnancy? Like even
marinara.
Today?
I don't like marinara sauce. But I love mushrooms. And I hated mushrooms.
But you like pizza. Is that different? That's tomato sauce, I guess. Yeah, my bad.
Some pizzas have marinara sauce.
Oh, that's disgusting.
And it's not as much.
Yeah, when I get my pizzas made, like if I go to a Blaze or something like that, I'll get the white sauce. If I have mozzarella sticks, I'll get blue cheese or ranch.
I'll say this personally. It's always a boss move to get white sauce on your pizza instead of red sauce. Just my opinion.
I'll co-sign that.
Yeah.
It's pretty delicious.
So, yeah. Early parenting, I guess. I mean, I know your life changes, but how did your life, what's the first thing you noticed that changed once you became a parent?
You start to care, I guess, a little bit more about certain choices that you make. You tend to be more cognizant of the repercussions of like the little things that you do, how it affects your life, your health, and the life of your child. I mean, because there is this new being in your life that you really, really love. It's like such a different kind of love. I really can't explain it. You're just a little bit more conscious. I remember having so much hand sanitizer.
What?
And I
still have a lot of hand sanitizer.
Yeah, no, but
you gave me hand sanitizer as a gift recently.
Yeah.
I would think for hand sanitizer, but I'm like, okay, I need to make sure everything's baby proof. Like you go a little bit overboard because you're so protective. You think a little bit harder. Like I would pack to go somewhere with her, and that bag would be overfull. I had face wipes, I had hand wipes, I had
clothes.
Booty wipes. I had 7 packs of clothes. I had bibs. I overdid like those commercials that you see. I really overdid it. But it's because you just tend to be more protective. You tend to be more cognizant of your surroundings, of germs. Things that we normally, now I just have a pack of Target wipes, so we're good to go. I really don't tend to have all that extra stuff anymore. Because it's like if it's a germ, if your clothes are dirty, that sucks. It's fine. We'll just wash it. But before in the beginning stages, you just tend to be more aware of things that you probably never really paid attention to before. That's really all it is. Yeah. At least for me.
Okay. And you are in an interesting situation. So you do single parent / co-parent your daughter. So I feel like it's kind of interesting because you guys have more of a friendship. I mean, I see the friendship aspect and I do see the mother and daughter relationship there. So do you feel like because you are parenting this way that you guys have that friendship, or it just came naturally to you?
No, I think that might play a role. I don't think I've ever explored it in that way. For why we're as close as we are, because I guess when there's another parent in the household, maybe the dynamic plays out a bit different. I don't think I've ever explored that thought, so I don't know if I have an honest answer to that. I really don't know. Yeah. If that's what contributed to us having that kind of bond. I mean, she's with me more, so she enjoys being with me. But I mean, she also enjoys being with her dad as well. But I think because she's with me so much more, she tends to want to be with me a little bit more. Yeah. But I don't know if that's why. I actually might need to think about that on my own to find out if that's
journal about it.
Yeah. Right, put it in my.
I don't want to turn this into therapy. Okay. But I guess I know you kind of well. So this question, as far as that's that whole dynamic of the mother-daughter friendship, how do you think your role with mom affected your role with London? Like, what things did you take from it Positively and negatively. Not too many examples, but you know.
Yeah, I won't go too in depth. Taking all things into consideration with, you know, the time that, you know, we were growing up compared to now, and parent-child interactions then and now, I did notice that discipline was one of those things that was a huge point of contention for me.
No, hold on. Before you go, this is a topic I definitely want you to get. Just go ahead. Just tell them. Okay, as far as discipline go, what? Because I find your way of disciplining London very interesting, especially in comparison to how we were raised.
But it works though.
I mean, okay, sorry. You should have seen the look Judi just coming. As far okay, yes, for the most part, London is very well behaved.
Yeah.
But as far as disciplining, what is your philosophy on discipline?
So,
here we go.
How? I was waiting for this question.
And don't give me the super nanny answer.
No, but she played a role. She played
I
a
know.
huge
I know.
role. And it's interesting because when I was, you know, pregnant, like right after I had London, and right, you know, while I was pregnant with her, around maybe like a week or two before I gave birth, I wasn't working, right? So I had to find something to do to keep me busy. So I watched a lot of TV. Martin was on constant rotation, you know, 24, and Super Nanny. It was just one of those shows like, oh, this is interesting. And, you know, you watch it just to see how other people act with their kids. And you're like, what kind of life? You know, how do you get your kids to get this far? But then I would actually start getting into it. I mean, I'm like, okay, well, I'm about to be a mom to an actual person. Let me see, you know, what are some of the techniques that she uses that are effective or not effective, because I didn't want to do the spankings, right? I felt like there was, I mean, I could see the quote unquote pros to it. It's like a quick fix to the situation. I don't think it had a long-term fix to the problem. It was something to end that behavior in that moment, but I don't think it stopped overall that behavior from happening. It was just, you just pissed me off. Why did you do something that I specifically told you not to do? Pop. In that moment, you know, you cried, and oh my gosh, and then that, you know, that addressed it in that moment. But that didn't stop me or make me think twice that much before doing it again if it was a certain behavior that wasn't acceptable, because I don't know, it wasn't enough of an incentive, I guess, for me to mitigate that behavior or to use that as a thinking moment for, you know, future behavior.
So you're not gonna whoop or spank London, right?
I might give a pop, but I'm not gonna go out of my way and get a belt. No.
So what would it take for you to consider spanking London?
Oh, I've considered it. Like, there's times that I've been so upset that I'm like, I might have to reconsider my thought process and get a belt, because she's really trying my patience. But then in those moments, I have to stop and say, you know what? It'll be worth it in the end, because I have to consider all the all the fallout from that kind of discipline, especially as a girl, right? One of the things is when she gets older, I don't want her to correlate somebody told me not to do something, I did it, they got upset and they hit me, with in a relationship. The guy I'm with told me not to do something, I did it, he hit me. That doesn't mean he doesn't still love me. But no, when you think about it, at what point do you separate the two?
Yeah.
I mean, real quick, if you're not my mom and dad, you're not allowed to touch me.
I don't know.
No, I know.
Because
no
even your parents can take it too far.
Yeah.
Parents take it too far.
Yeah, I definitely feel like that's a super nanny quote. But
oh my god.
Not even just that, like, but think about it. When that's the way that you're disciplining someone, what is it psychologically that makes them separate? You did something I did not like, or I told you not to do, and I don't like it, so I hit you as a result. from anybody else doing it.
No, I get what you're saying. I guess it's just, I think in my mind it's very clear. Only like one person or two people are allowed to discipline me in any aspect of my life.
But even, like I said, even then, some parents take it to... You ever seen a kid get a beating and you feel bad for them? Because after a while, it's like, that's
myself.
not... You ever seen someone else?
Yes, you.
Outside of the family?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
You know, and some parents, and they don't... I know they mean well. But you also have to think psychologically of what effect that is. Like, it's like, okay, you're at school, you and another peer, somebody does something you don't like, and you hit them. Mm-hmm. How would you get in trouble? What does your parent do? I'm going to hit you because you hit somebody else and then got in trouble for it? Like, if you don't listen in school, is your teacher allowed to hit you?
No.
Like, I think if we're expecting our kids when they're in any other environment to be able to follow a verbal instruction with them and not get hit as a result of not following that verbal instruction, we should be able to find a way to have a verbal instruction that we can reinforce without hitting them.
Right? Yeah.
Like continuity.
I know I joke with you a lot, and I won't stop joking with you, but as a child of the Caribbean, it is good to see maybe the trend turning a little bit. Yeah. And we don't have to run to the belt for every answer. So I think that's pretty cool. I'm still going to clown you.
I know.
When you do your eye to eye, get on their
level. I don't even
see
you grabbing a belt to hit your own child.
I mean,
I don't see that happening.
It takes a lot.
I feel to get to that point, you got to be real angry. Yeah. So I feel like even you doing this is practicing like self-control on your end as well.
And
so
it takes a lot.
Yeah.
I had to tell her today. I was like, listen, because today was a rough one for her. And I was like, London, listen, you don't know the kind of self-control it takes.
Yeah, no, today was a whipping day, I think.
But a belt, though?
We were in public. We were in public, so maybe not a belt. But you definitely need to get taken outside real quick.
But that's like one of those, maybe a pop. Not even a pop.
I feel like you deserve a whooping today. She did.
Not with a belt, though.
I mean, we were in public, so no belt.
Oh, my goodness.
There's parameters. I understand that.
So then why do you feel like it should be different behind closed doors compared to in public in terms of how you address it? Like,
I mean, there's a lot of things I wouldn't do in public that I do.
Yeah, but in terms of when it comes to disciplining a kid.
I mean, there is some level of saving face that has to be kept. Like, you don't need to embarrass your child.
I agree.
In public. I know you know the whole, if you embarrass me in public, I'll embarrass you in public. Mm-hmm. But I don't see the point in doing those acts of, to me it's just an act of like dominance, and you're just showing to the parents around you that you're still in control despite what the kid just did. Mm-hmm. But I definitely feel like if something does need to be handled, it can be handled at home, behind closed doors, in a more safe, controlled environment than out in public. And that seems more like you just lost your cool and you whooped them in public. Like, that's crazy to me. I don't see the point in that. As someone who's been hit in public, I don't see the point in it.
And also, I think another thing as well is taking into consideration, for example, London is 7. Taking into consideration, yes, that doesn't give you free license to do whatever you feel like doing. But I also have to remember that you're 7 and not 32.
Yeah,
there's only so much self-awareness. I mean, that doesn't mean you should act crazy. But at the same time, you're 7. Like, when an adult acts like a 7-year-old, you tell them you're not 7. But you can't expect a 7-year-old to always be on their best behavior at every moment. Yeah. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like, it's like, you're testing me right now. You're 7. I'm going to take a breath before I ask you to take a breath and calm down.
Right.
Yeah.
Because just something to consider.
I don't want to stay on the whole whooping thing.
Oh, no.
But it's we did get off topic from my first question. So real quick, let's just do it real quick.
Okay.
What were give me like 2 main positives you took between your relationship with your mom and 2 negatives that you kept away from your relationship with you in London?
The positives that I kept I'll start with the negatives. The negatives that I stopped were, the physical.
The whoopings.
The whoopings, basically, yes.
Okay.
And.
Which were negative to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not believing her more. You know what I mean? And not taking what she says at face value.
Okay. You're saying London?
Yeah. And you know how sometimes growing up where someone else's word might weigh a little bit more heavier than what you said happened in a situation, like at school. Like it really wasn't me, I promise. It wasn't me. And it's like, no, it was you. They said it was you. I'm like, but I'm telling you it wasn't me.
Yeah.
So in that kind of situation, the good.
Don't hurt yourself.
No, I'm not gonna hurt myself. When it comes to like mom, and I guess a lot of Caribbean parents are like this, where your kid can't just be any place and anywhere just for the sake of like a new age thing.
Yeah,
that's something that I kept as well. Like as a youth, I thought that was unfair, but I understand the value of it now. And another thing that I said that I think I'll take in terms of a positive. I don't think I ever stopped believing.
Oh, here she is.
Of course, one's not.
Come in.
Come in, London.
And being
and we're rolling.
Extra nurturing.
Okay.
So you can go.
Okay.
Yeah, mom she's very nurturing. She likes to
into the mic.
Oh, sorry. She's very nurturing.
Yeah.
I'll give her that.
She shows her love in a very different way, but we know she loves her.
But she knows, yes.
Yeah.
And I try to show her that same kind of love. So I'll leave it at those two.
So I'm going to go back to the friendship aspect. Because I feel like I like how open you are with London. There's a lot of conversations that parents don't like to have with their kids, especially today. Because, there's so much happening and it's just a different time than when our parents were parenting us. So do those conversations make you nervous, or are you just like open and willing to just be honest?
Because London's definitely getting older, so I know the questions are coming.
Yes, and she actually asked me a very interesting question not too long ago. But I encourage having open discussion, and I try not to shy away or act like I can't answer certain questions, because I want her to feel comfortable having any kind of conversation with me. And I try, when she either asks me a question or tells me something, to not have a weird reaction right off the bat, just so that she's not feeling as though she doesn't know what kind of person she's going to get when she shares certain information. Because as she gets older, she's going to be involved in more complicated situations, might need advice on more delicate matters. And I want her to feel like the open door policy is real, and she actually can come to me and share something with me without me first saying, well, if you didn't do this and you didn't do that, you wouldn't be in this situation. And it's funny because we've been watching a lot of Bernie Mac, and the way he interacts with the kids, like if you actually look at the dynamic, it's really cool. And I'm like, and I've been learning
the way Bernie interacts.
Yeah, the way Bernie acts with the kids. I mean, the way Wanda acts with them as well. She's a little bit more lax.
I mean, Bernie's my kind of dad.
But that's
he's
not their dad on the show, is he?
No, he's not their real dad, but he definitely acts like it.
But the interactions that he has, and just that openness, she and I do have that. And like I said recently, she asked me a very delicate question that at first, I jumped a little bit, but not so much that it was noticeable. And I answered the question in a very honest way, and she was like, "Oh, okay," and then just kind of kept it moving. It didn't become an issue moving forward. But to streamline and answer your question, I do want to keep that door open. And I've also advised her, if she feels like she can't talk to me, she can at least talk to the grown-ups around her.
Me.
You.
She don't talk to you about this stuff.
What?
Just so she can feel,
anything. Yep, she just nodded her head. That's my dog.
Just so she could feel that she has, grown-ups in her life that she can talk to and give good sound advice. But you know, like I said, as we're getting older, as times are changing, I do want to keep that door open so she can feel comfortable sharing, you know, anything with me without getting a judgmental response.
Yeah.
In return.
As far as like co-parenting, how do you guys like split up, you know, whether it be finances or time, holidays, like how do you guys maneuver through that kind of thing?
Well, for finances, we had a conversation in advance, and we're pretty much on the same page in that regard in terms of, you know, financial assistance. Well, not assistance, just financial contribution to raise her. So I don't have an issue with that. In terms of time, I mean, we're two human beings, so there'll be times when we might disagree, or, you know, there might be a little tete-a-tete, you know, with each other regarding, okay, what time are you bringing her? What time are you dropping off? But for the most part, we're not having any issues.
Yeah.
You know, it'll just be a text, and I do my very, very best, because I don't feel that just because you're not with the person who's, you know, the other parent, that you should be either very intrusive in their life, controlling, or hold the child over them as like some kind of power thing, like, oh, because I have her, this is my opportunity to be a jerk to you.
Yeah.
Like, we don't have that kind of vibe at all. It's like, hey, you know, I'm picking her up at this time, and I'm like, okay, cool. You know, what time do you think you're gonna drop her off? And we just kind of work off that way. So we don't have an issue.
What do you think the key to that has been?
Yeah, because I mean, people typically hear about like drama and stuff. So how do you
putting the kid first and putting your personal feelings to the side? You have to look at what's in the best interest of your kid, and you're just gonna have to take a L on all the other stuff. Whatever other personal issues you have with that person is your business, but your kids shouldn't see it, and neither should they feel it. Like, even if you don't like that person, you shouldn't speak ill of them in front of your child or to your child. Mm-hmm. They should never know how you feel about them, other than that you guys are able to maintain a conversation, you know, in a civil way, because children they internalize that. They, you know, and as kids, at some point they might blame themselves, you know, for it at some degree, but they do internalize strife between their parents. Then they have to pick sides. Yeah. Then they have to, okay, when I'm with this parent, I gotta be this way. When I'm with this parent, and I just feel like when they get older, they have enough pressure that they're gonna have to deal with. This is not gonna be one of them.
Yeah.
And so we've done a pretty good job about keeping it, you know,
about
London.
Yeah.
Okay. And everything else is kind of just...
This next topic, I honestly could care less about.
So then I'll ask. This is the fun part. So what has dating been like? Like, what, you know, how do you tell dudes straight out the gate that you have a child? Like,
Absolutely.
Okay.
London is on my screensaver. She's everywhere. She's the third word out my mouth after every other sentence. I'm always either talking about her, or I'm usually with her, unless it's, you know, she's with her dad. She's with me. We're all over the place. And I don't meet strangers. So anybody who knows me already know I have a daughter.
Right.
But I'm not dating. And I don't think that that's something that, when I sit down and think about it, I would be able to do in a way that would be fair to her, him, or myself. Whether it's for disorganization, whether it's for just time management done poorly, cannot, with the way I work and the way that, you know, sometimes the schedule can be random with when Lenna's with her dad, cannot have like a devoted amount of time for dating. And that's hard on somebody, you know, to be available whenever I'm available at whatever point that is. And so I've just come to the realization that rather than deal with being inconsistent with someone or them being inconsistent with me, I'll just wait till Lenna's a little bit older.
Yeah.
When she gets to that stage where she's not trying to be around me anyway.
It's coming sooner than you think.
No, I don't think so.
She has those days
to entertain the dating thing. The consistent dating thing. Because I don't want to do serial dating.
Right.
It's not something that I'm interested in. So, yeah, the time thing is a really big deal, and it wouldn't be fair to anybody if I tried to date someone right now.
That's good. Okay. That's enough about dating.
So, on that time thing, how do you make time for yourself and for her and the things you like to do with everything going on?
Well, usually London's with her dad on Saturdays. So that'll be the time where I have a little Judi time. So I'll do something like either go to the farmer's market and just kind of roam. I haven't been there in a while because it's been a little crazy, in case anyone wants to know. I'll go to a buffet by myself. I'll just stay home. I'll go to Target. I love Target. I'll do a Target run. I'll use that time to either go somewhere that I enjoy being, like, you know, Barnes & Nobles or, you know, something like that. I'll have a cheapy lunch by myself. Just have that time. I think it's important to have a little bit of time for yourself because when all your other time is devoted to your kid and that takes a lot of energy and effort, it can be overwhelming. And I can't fill from an empty cup. Yeah. So I have to have some time where, you know, and also on my way home from work, you know, I'll use that as some time to just like kind of listen to the music that I like to listen to that I can't listen to when she's in the car with me. Or on my way to work, you know, I'll do like, you know, listen to some music or, you know, you and I will have a conversation. And that'll be my time to kind of decompress or just have some Judi time.
Okay. Well, another thing about Judi, the person, not the parent, real quick. Just because it's something I've recently, I feel like, learned about you. I guess tell people a little bit more about your hobby with homemaking things, like
her face.
Yeah, like you go to the farmer's market, but you go there for a reason specifically, usually. Yes. So I don't want to, because I can't really explain. But go ahead, you tell us a little more about it.
Thank you for asking. So
into the mic.
I am like the Pinterest girl. I like holistic things. I have a tea vendor or like an herb vendor. There's two at the farmer's market that I love going to. Like my vendors, because I frequent them so much, we have like a relationship. And I love making things. I love making scrubs. I love making butters. I love making just natural herb concoctions, skin things. I love it. So I have a vendor where I'll get like my matcha, my maca powders. I have another vendor where I'll get my burdock root. I have a vendor, Keys Bees, that has all different kinds of honey that I'll use either on my hair, on my face. If London's sick, I'll mix it with, you know, lemon juice and some other things to give her when she's sick. I have my vendor that sells like gems and crystals and things like that I like to buy. Who else is one of my to go? And I mean, I have my produce vendor, right? But there's not. Well, I use them for my aloe. I use them for my mint. Things like that.
What are some what are some of these different things that you make? Because I know you make different like steams and different. I mean, you don't have to get into it completely, but I guess for there's people out there who might be interested in these type of things. And are you selling any of these things or plan on selling any of these things?
I currently am not selling them. So the steams are vaginal steams.
We're adults. You can say it.
Okay, they're vaginal steams. And I have like an herbal one and one that assists with kind of, you know.
You don't have to explain it.
Okay. But it's just for the health of there. I mean, a lot of women have issues there, and it's not something that's openly discussed.
Yeah. So, I feel like in the Caribbean, at least Asians, we do that.
The steams?
Yeah.
But that's
after you have a baby.
After pregnancy. That's the only time I've ever heard of it. But this other stuff is like, ever since I've heard Judi talk about it, I've like seen it everywhere. Mm-hmm. Like, there was someone I heard there's like a spa that does.
There's a couple.
Just stuff like
just
that.
Just for that, yeah. Because it's warm. It's very comforting.
Okay, we don't have to.
No, but yes, we do.
No, we it's because men don't really have stuff like that. Like,
no.
Like, for what?
We don't.
But yeah, it's something that, you know, like if you have concerns, maybe, you know, odor or an infection or things like that, it just kind of helps.
Go see a doctor. But
yeah.
Or
if you don't have insurance.
Well,
this is true.
No, everyone has insurance. But I guess when did you start like getting into stuff like that?
I guess it was just part of the natural evolution of the making your own things kind of process. Because I know culturally, like after having a baby, you know, I had to do like this whole traditional thing called a bang, right? So I had to bathe with a certain leaf. I don't recall what it's called. It's a certain leaf that you take a shower with for 3 days. And then after that, there's herbs that they put in a bucket. It's very hot. And you have to like squat over it. But it's the point of it is for the blood flow. And for the placentas, for all the other stuff to just kind of get out of you. And to kind of cleanse you. And that goes long back to, you know, the motherland. It's something that's done. And there are a lot of Asian cultures still practice that. Some Indian cultures still practice that as well. And it's a cleansing thing for your body. And I believe that that's something that we still need. I mean, you know, herbs are used for more than just seasoning your food.
Right.
I feel. And so, you know, God's creation is great. And a lot of these things go back, you know, hundreds and hundreds of years. And I think that, you know, I like to preserve some of that. So that's why I do it. And I've given my steam to 2 people who were brave enough to try it. And they actually said it worked. And it did what it needed to do. So I was very happy with that. So at least I know it works. I'm a little hesitant to sell them because I don't know if there's like a medical disclaimer like that I have to give or something like that. But I'd be willing to do that.
Just put a disclaimer. It's on you. Like,
you're right on the disclaimer. Yeah. It's on you.
Yeah, pretty much.
So do you have any advice out there like for single moms or women that may be in your situation or about to be in your situation?
Just like a couple keys, I guess, that you would give.
Yeah.
For single moms, I would tell them, you know what? While things seem overwhelming at times, you're stronger than you know. Mm-hmm. And you're a parent for a reason. It's not an accident that this life was, you know, a blessing that you were allowed to have, because I do know a couple of women who want to have kids that just can't. And it's, you know, and it's a big issue for them. So you're in a unique position. You're in a very blessed place where you're allowed to bring life into this world. Mm-hmm. And while, you know, that is something that you're like, okay, well, yeah, that's great. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm so overwhelmed, or I feel like I'm not doing this right. Or, you know, what if I mess up? Just take a breather, take a moment, you know, look at that child that you were lucky enough to bring into this world and see all the love, that pure love. You know, this person is counting on you and you can do it. You are capable. You know, if you need to just take a moment and just say a prayer, or every time you're you know, in a tough place, you just need to take a breather and, you know, repeat a mantra to yourself to remind yourself that you're strong. You know, do that. If you need to, you know, have like 1 or 2 people who are your backbone, I guess, or your cheerleaders, you know, rely on them every so often. See if they can kind of be your motivators. You know, when you're having a tough day, you know, have that power structure. But the long and short of it is, you're a strong person, and try to draw from that strength whenever possible to get you through it, because you can get through it and you will get through it. You just need to tell yourself that you can, and you need to really believe that. I have a verse that I go to whenever I feel overwhelmed, and it's Philippians 4:6, and it says, don't worry about anything but pray about everything.
Hey.
And it's on my computer at work. And, you know, when I'm in a tough place and I say it 15, 20 times over and over to myself, eventually I get to believe it in that moment. And when I do that, you know, it helps. Another thing I say, Maya Angelou has a quote: if you can't change your situation, change your attitude. So having a couple of these mantras that really speak to you, they make a huge difference. So if that means you need to, you know, search for a couple of things that just encourage you, do that. If you need to listen to music that uplifts you to kind of give you that boost, do that. If you're angry and you know, you have like 15 minutes before you either pick up your kid or you're around them, find something that makes you happy to decompress so you're not transferring your anger from whatever your day was to them. Mm-hmm. And it makes the process just a little bit easier. And as time goes by, it gets a little bit easier to the point where you can manage the situation a little bit better. So that would be my
You're preaching.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
You didn't disappoint me.
You know what? I tried.
I'm really happy that you did this.
Yeah. And hopefully, maybe we see like a blog or a YouTube channel soon about, how you make your butters and, whatever else you want to put.
I'm definitely going to push you in that area. I think, because I know you and I didn't even know you did stuff like that. So I figure, I think you could probably help a lot of other people. You can't help me, but you could probably help a lot of other people.
Man, listen, I've seen your skin. You can use it.
So. Whoa. Anyway.
All right.
Appreciate you. Yeah.
Move on to Listener Matters.
Yeah, let's have Judi stick around for the Listener Matters too.
Oh, yes. Thank you. I'd be glad to do so.
All right.
I'll be there for you. I'll be there for you. When you're going through. Hey. You can count on me. You can count on me. Call me when you need.
All right, so this is the part where we answer your questions. Again, email us at michelmatters@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments or anything like that for the show. So one question we got for this episode is, where are some of your favorite places to shop for your clothes, shoes, and accessories?
I'm assuming this is a question for you.
I guess. We also still have Judi here. And,
yeah, that's true.
And our niece London.
I don't wear accessories,
So, some of my places to shop for clothes. I don't really like shopping, but I don't.
Oh,
I like shopping for home stuff.
Okay, there you go. Yes.
Yeah, but like for clothes, I like Old Navy, Zara, Cotton On. I don't know. I like basics, pieces. Yeah, like clean cut t-shirts and stuff like that. You always need like a good shoe, I'm into clogs right now. A good blazer and some jeans. AG jeans fit me really well, so I like those.
Yeah, they do.
Wow.
Really?
What about you, London?
I like shopping at Target a lot. Let's see.
What about mommy? Where does she like shopping?
I'm a Target girl. I like Forever 21 and Ross for like home stuff, home goods. But for clothing, Target, definitely Ross and Forever 21.
What about IKEA?
That's not for clothes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's for home. Okay. All right. You don't have anything to add there? Where do you like to shop?
Like a Nike store. I love Foot Locker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a guy. It's basic. I mean, I go to the mall. I find what I need. JCPenney or whatever. And I rock it.
Okay.
No?
All right. The next question is from my cousin Mark. We were having a conversation. And basically he just wanted to ask, he's a high school senior, how did jocks not pay so much for college? I hated taking the ACT, so I didn't want to take it again. You literally have to know everything to get a 36. With my SAT score, I received the first level Bright Future Scholarship. I got into every state school I applied for except for one, so I'll stay in Florida and use the scholarship. What are other things I could be doing to not spend my whole life paying for school? And through our conversation, he was only like a few points away from the higher level Bright Futures. So my advice was to, take the test again.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I'm not in high school anymore, so I don't know what the deadlines are and stuff like that. So what did you do to not
pay so much? I mean, when I took the SAT, I didn't even get the 100% Bright Futures. I had the 75%. I don't know how they do the levels now, but I had
those were the only 2 levels.
Yeah, there were 75 and 100. So, but I mean, I literally just went to the school that gave me the most financial aid. So I had the 75% from Bright Futures, and then I had a USF scholarship, and it paid a certain amount, which ended up being like the other 25%. So that's how I ended up not really paying for school. But I mean, even with stuff like that, when you get there, you got to keep up the GPA or you'll lose your scholarship. And yeah, just that whole. But yeah, Mark, it's not easy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess double check with USF to see how much financial aid they'll give you.
He didn't say he was for sure going to USF.
Oh.
It just sounds like.
He said he got into every state school, so I'm assuming he's going to pick the best one.
Wow.
And he's going to go to USF. Go Bulls. But, yeah, I assume that's where you're going. Okay. If you do, we definitely have some talking to do. It can help you out, like, because I know you have to stay on campus and all that.
Yeah.
I guess that's the other thing. When I went, it wasn't mandatory for freshmen to stay on campus, so I ended up staying off campus, and it was cheaper than staying on campus. Just different things. So, I would definitely say go stay in state, but you might have to take the SAT one more time, man.
Yeah. What about you, Judi, as a parent? Like, what are you doing to, prepare for college and that kind of next level education?
That's a great question because me and a friend of mine, I don't want to say her name, put her on blast, but we were talking about that, and she was telling me, she was like, listen, my daughter better get one of these sports scholarships because they pay basically full ride, housing and all. I'm like, that's a good point. Linda's pretty good at gymnastics. We might need to revisit.
Yeah, don't bank on it.
She's very good at it.
I'm not saying she's not good. She's probably great.
Yes. But I was thinking of doing Florida prepaid. I'm still looking into that. And also there's another option with stocks where I could pay for it that way. So I'm actually still trying to find what the best way to save for that is. I mean, Linda's pretty bright, so I anticipate she'll have a scholarship. Kind of counting on it. So
you don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're on that route. But I'm definitely exploring other options as well to kind of supplement that.
Yeah.
Since I have a good amount of time, early is now. So if I'm going to plan for something.
Is that like a dad joke?
Early is now is this thing that my mom says all the time growing up. So, like, every time she asks me when you're going to do something, like, if you say tomorrow, or she'll be like, no, early is now. It basically just means, like, time is of the essence. Don't wait. If you're going to do something, do it now.
I mean, that makes sense. It's just that.
Yeah.
Okay. I go to a different school.
What school do you
Okay, we're not going
to we'll talk about that later.
Anyway.
What, do you know what you want to do to study in school, Linda? You know what you want to study in school when you graduate high school?
No.
No?
I don't know what that is.
Okay.
Oh, you know what you want to do.
You have tons of time.
Fair.
So, yeah. I would also say to, high school seniors who are going into college, feel out the first couple of semesters and then you can probably work part-time if that's something that, that you want to do. I don't feel like parents have to pay for 100% of your college funding. I feel like that also makes you appreciate your degree a little more if you have to work.
Community schools too?
Yeah. So there are different options. But, and he comes from a good family and everything like that. So I know he's not going to have to worry too much. But if you want a little side money and stuff, you could also work part-time.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Business spotlight?
Yeah. Let's move on to the business spotlight.
Alright, so for this week's business spotlight, Jackie has a beauty supply store that she wants to talk about.
Yes. So I've been to this beauty supply store like 3 times. The first time it was just to check it out because I knew that it was a Black-owned beauty supply. store, and most of the beauty supplies that I go to are not Black owned. So I was like, as soon as I found out that it was, I have to check it out and, support it. I think I ended up buying some type of Shea Moisture product the first time. The second time, I did buy some bundles because we walked in our friend Chris's and Faith wedding. Mm-hmm. So we needed to do our hair a certain way. And I ended up getting bundles there. And the guy who owns the shop is actually really knowledgeable about hair.
I would hope so.
Yeah, but he's a dude, so it's not the typical.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know nothing about weaves, and he helped me out a lot. And then the third time was yesterday, and I went to get the Cream of Nature Argan Oil. You know that product, right, Judi?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
The red line?
Yes. And I love it. I got some deep conditioner and leave-in conditioner.
I have their new honey line, by the way. I wonder if they have it there, because I would. I'm definitely interested. I want it. If you can, once you put that information on, I'll definitely be visiting them.
Yeah.
Because I have a thing for hair care products, even though I don't really do my hair as often as I should.
And I'm not a product junkie, so once I find like a product that I like, that's what I stick to. But yeah, this is Kayla's Beauty Supply, and they are at 6980 Pembroke Road in Pembroke Pines, Florida. And it's a small shop, but it's really cute, and I think I want to say it's a wife and husband ownership type duo thing that they have going on. And there's a girl in the back that does hair as well. I've never got my hair done by her, but I'm just going to throw it out there just in case you're looking for someone. And I was on their website, and it looked like they named the shop after Kayla Renee Paulus, and I'm assuming that might be their daughter who maybe passed away, or a family member who passed away. So the logo is like of her and her two little Afro puffs, so it's really cute. And I just feel like, just go out and support if you're looking for hair products from a Black-owned beauty supply store. Kayla's Beauty Supply. And we'll have all of that information in the description, right?
Yeah.
All right.
I think that's it.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us. We really appreciate it.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
When I pull up on you, then I might swear, ayy. Double off deuce, ayy.